Hey everybody, so I just wanted to do a quick impromptu video today to talk about something that's kind of really been on my mind a lot and has been coming up a lot in discussion. I had dinner with a friend of mine, an old colleague, yesterday who works in the sort of unemployment office. It basically kind of helps people kind of fill out their CVs and their resumes and kind of help them find jobs to apply for and kind of coaches them along on what to do. I think the unemployment office here in Germany, they pay pretty decent unemployment if you're unemployed, but they also want you to go through sort of a process to, make sure you're filling out applications and looking for jobs and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, he was unemployed for about a year and ended up, his coach at the unemployment office basically said, hey, we got this job opening here. Why don't you do the same thing? And so that's what he's doing. So he's been, past couple months, his new job has been working, coaching people, helping them fill out their resumes and blah, blah, blah. And the feedback that I'm getting from him, and which is something I've really been seeing a lot of, which I hate to make my messaging focus on negativity, and I don't want to put out fear marketing, but I think there's something that really is still kind of going under the radar that a lot of people aren't talking about. And that is the unemployment situation, not only just in Germany, but I think globally is a whole lot worse than what people are talking about. And I'm seeing this specifically on a lot of message boards where, like, I'm seeing it on message boards. I'm seeing it in groups on, like, Facebook. I'm seeing it on content that creators are posting, like on TikTok and stuff, where they're saying it's a little conspiracy-like, but it seems to me that a lot of job boards, online job posting platforms, have been posting jobs that nobody seems to be getting hired for. It seems to me that a lot of these quote-unquote tech jobs that are available, people are applying for and nobody's getting hired. And the suspicion is that either these jobs don't exist and they're just being posted to make the companies look like they're growing, or that these platforms, and I'm not going to name any because you can basically just pick the top 10 job posting platforms out there, are actually using these job posts to capture data, which they are selling to other AI platforms. So, I don't know for sure. I don't work for these companies. I don't know what they're doing, but it seems to me like people are applying for literally 20, 50 jobs a week for things that they used to get hired for with that amount of effort, and they're not getting anything. And these are people who are unemployed for months and months and months. And what I'm hearing from him as well, who works in the job employment, area as a job, tech jobs aren't hiring right now. And the tech jobs that are hiring are basically trying to lowball to get what they say are highly skilled, younger sort of Gen Z, millennial, people coming out of school who are eager to start some sort of tech job, especially in the creative tech space, and trying to get hired into these jobs. They're lowballing them on much lower salaries. It's becoming much more competitive. And this is not only just the newer, new people coming into the workforce, it's the older people and the mid-level people in the workforce as well. And this is primarily because of AI. And something I've talked about a lot, something everybody's been talking about a lot. There's this big, what will the future of AI be like if it takes away our jobs? Well, this is happening now. This is happening, and nobody's talking about it, because I think there's a lot of money being thrown into AI right now, and nobody wants to cause any alarm. But it seems to me like we're now seeing these things happening. There are jobs being replaced. There are companies that are downsizing. There are companies that are automating. There's a massive focus on replacing whatever, especially knowledge work and AI-related creative work that they can to downsize because of AI. People are losing their jobs. People are getting downsized. People are having to replace their skills. They're having to change. People are having to pivot. This is happening on the entry-level jobs. This is happening on mid-level jobs. This is happening on executive level jobs. This is one big game of musical chairs where everybody is competing for the same low-level, low-paying entry-level jobs, and AI is basically slowly pulling the chairs away. And people are struggling for more and more low-paying jobs. The tech jobs are disappearing. People are not getting hired for tech jobs. Yeah, I mean the very high end, the super doctorate in computer sciences, people that are building these platforms. There are still developers out there, but very quickly these jobs are going away. And this is no bullshit. I'm hearing from all kinds of people. And the problem is this has no clear end goal that is positive. There is no, the future of AI where everybody's broke, everybody doesn't have any money, but everybody's going to be happy. Nobody owns anything. Everybody's going to be happy. There's no plan for that yet. And this is happening really fast. So what I'm seeing is a whole lot of unemployed people who have highly skilled, highly trained, highly effective tech-related experience, and they can't work because AI is slowly replacing that. This is on content creation. This is on coding. This is on knowledge work. Any knowledge is becoming a commodity because of AI. And this isn't a slant because, I use AI all day. So I understand the value, and I love using new tools. I love all the optimization it does for me in lots of things, but the reality is this is replacing jobs. And there's no sort of end game in sight for what happens when more and more people lose jobs, more and more people don't have money to pay for things in the economy, and businesses will have to close because nobody is available to one, work for them, or two, buy their stuff. And this is leading towards an eventual future, and how I see it is there's going to have to be universal basic income at some point. This will have to come into play. Otherwise, we're going to be in Mad Max land within the next 10 years at the speed at which this stuff is progressing. And again, I don't want to be fatalistic. I don't want to jump to conspiracies. It's just I'm seeing the pattern, and I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel here. And this isn't really meant to scare you because the momentum is picking up, this stuff is happening, and you can't really stop it. I think this is a huge opportunity for people who at least anticipate what is going on and can pivot. What you have to do is pivot. You have to pivot right now. It doesn't matter what job you do. You have to diversify what you do for a job. And I'm hearing this from all kinds of people, from all different income levels, all different types of skills, all types of people who are either struggling for work, they see the struggle coming, and there's a whole lot of people that are just kind of not taking any action. And that's really concerning. And so in order to avoid this big falling off the cliff in terms of the economy, in terms of where you're working, you have to learn to pivot. And that is why I have decided to switch my entire focus on personal branding. Personal branding to me is not the ultimate end solution here, but this is the Band-Aid that is least going to offer people the opportunity to become flexible, become agile, and be able to pivot with whatever comes along. And personal branding means taking advantage of the skills that you have and your ability to monetize your skills digitally so that you can pivot with whatever is coming. So, if there's a skill or service that you provide now, you can wrap that up and be able to promote it using your personal brand to understand how digital marketing and how these things work so that you can promote yourself and have an income. You can package up your knowledge, package up your services, and also a way to ensure that The personal part of the personal brand is the sort of the human value that you provide. As AI takes over more and more things, it's still not going to replace the sort of the physical services that people need. And what my friend also said, he said the types of jobs that still are hiring right now are things like personal service jobs, like people who work with the elderly, people that work in hospitals, people that are plumbers, people that are picking fruit or whatever, but things that you do manually, person-to-person services that you provide that people still have to pay for, and things that aren't easily automated digitally. As I've talked about before, at some point, maybe a robot will be able to come into your house and fix your plumbing, but it's going to take a long time. Maybe a robot's going to come and comfort an aging person in the hospital, but it's going to take a long time. And these types of services are the ones that are still hiring, and the tech jobs aren't hiring right now. So I would encourage you, and as a personal branding consultant, obviously, I'm a little biased in terms of, that's my service I'm offering. If you resonate with anything I have to say, I'd be happy to talk to you about it. But just as a way to position for the future, and however you do this, I need you to consider where this is going. And again, this isn't a knock on AI. It's there. We use it. We have to use it. I think the more you use it, the more competitive you can be, the better. But I would say now is the time, before the shit hits the fan in the next couple of years in the employment market, and that's where I'm seeing things going. Use this opportunity now to use it while there's still opportunities to have some sort of value that you provide, to brand yourself, create a business for yourself, create or learn new tools, learn new skills, especially digital skills, to be able to be agile. And that's really the point here, is how do you get the skill set to be agile, to be able to pivot with whatever comes along in the next 10 years or 20 years or however long you're going to continue working. What skill set do you have that's going to keep you valuable in that space? And having a personal brand and being able to promote your services, whatever they may be, both now and into the future, whether they stay the same or whether they change, having a personal brand is really going to be the way to optimize that. Because again, we're already at that point where people of all levels of knowledge and all skill sets and all types of job levels are already struggling. And I'm hearing this from a lot of people. It's not just me. I'm observing it myself, but I'm hearing it from a lot of different people. I'm seeing it online in just random places where I'm not even looking for it. This isn't even the algorithm. This is popping up in strange places. But based on what I'm seeing, based on the people I'm talking to, this is happening now, and this is a big deal. And if you want to position for this, now is the time to do it. Now is the time to do the hard work. Now is the time to brand yourself, brand your products and services, start that business, and utilize the tools that are there now, the AI tools, all the platforms and all the technology. Use it now to get whatever advantage you can. Pivot now, even if you have a job. Position yourself to pivot, even if everything looks fine, because I'm telling you, this is a tidal wave. This is happening now. How a tsunami happens. First you see the tide going out before the wave comes in. This is the tide going out. The tide is going out right now. So now is the time to pivot if you haven't already, and position for this, because this is going to be big. And I don't see any plan other than some sort of universal basic income, which still isn't played out right. There's going to be a lot of politics and a lot of economics and a lot of problems, and it's not going to solve all the problems. So I think if you really want to take advantage of whatever opportunities that may provide, or whatever opportunities you have to at least keep your head above water when this rolls out, now is the time to do it. So again, sorry for the red light sort of conspiracy video, which I try not to get into too much, but this is, I'm just seeing the signs, man, and I'm seeing the cliff coming up, and I don't see what's on the other side of that. but you can position for it. You can learn to pivot. You can take action now and get ready for what's happening. And trust me, thank me later. Whether you use my consulting services or anything I talk about or not, just go out there and educate yourself on what's going on and keep it in the back of your mind as to what's happening. And by all means, reach out and share your experience with me, because I'd love to hear what you're experiencing out there. But I'm seeing the signs, folks. So that's it. I'm Sean Earley. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.